I have no future doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway for the uploads and for the memories. Do I really want to do that? For the memories? Uploading for the memory? Not the best idea, but I'm already here. It's already happening. For the memories. Bump. Okay, wait. There. Now, what do I want to talk about? I was saying that I was going to talk about my condition, health condition. In case you guys don't know, whoa, I'm talking to someone. In case I haven't mentioned it, I have this health condition, or I had one just a few days ago, that made my breathing and my swallowing difficult, both of them. So since I already had asthma since I was very young, that new condition, it was a swallowing problem, it added to my misery. Oh, why do I always start so poorly? I always start so poorly when I do these things. Do my Drivecast, go. Right. So, I used to have asthma, and then a few days ago, I had this condition triggered by, I'm not entirely sure what triggered it. But anyway, I had this condition that made my swallowing difficult. That particular one, what happened was, my saliva would pool in my mouth, and I felt like I had to keep swallowing my saliva. Okay, just to prevent it from pooling in your mouth. Right? It's not like you're going to allow it to overflow. You're going to be drooling, literally. You're going to have your cheeks expanded by your saliva. That is way too much, man. You don't need to have an extreme amount of saliva for you to have the feeling that you ought to swallow it. You know what I mean? Okay, there. So, I had that pooling of saliva in my mouth. I was overproducing saliva. So I had this feeling that I needed to swallow it. But, and here's the real, well, it's not really the real problem, it's part of it. What made it problematic really was that if I tried to swallow it, my body would not allow me. Damn, man. You know what it would do? It would induce a gag reflex. So I tried to swallow it, and it would contradict my intent. You know? At least that's how I explain it now, or that's how I perceive it now. You know? Or that's how I perceive it now, and when I thought about it, that's how I explained it. Damn. There. That's what happened, man. So I'd swallow, and I'd have this feeling that my saliva would go into my windpipe. Would go into my, is it the larynx? Is it called the larynx, man? I don't remember. I get the feeling that my saliva would fall into my windpipe. The part of your throat where air flows in and out. Yun yung feeling ko. That was my feeling, man. So, I needed to be really careful and time my swallowing so that the gag reflex or whatever it was, so that it would not trigger. Ganon, pare. But then, that was what started my medical emergency. It was a medical emergency, man. I had to go to the doctor and really classify it as an emergency. I had to say, hey, I have a bit of an emergency here. Because I could still spit it. Yun nga lang, I would keep spitting and spitting and spitting. And, you know, you'd feel dehydrated naman. And that's what happened. Sometimes you'd attempt it anyway, you try to swallow it, but then you choke. You would choke from it like, gagano ka, dude. It was, the term I use, or the feeling, the sensation is you could die from if you made a mistake. You know, and when it started, I thought I had a technique that prevented the choking. I would bend forward, and then I'd swallow while I was in that position. I'd be seated, and then I'd bend forward, get my head low, and then I'd swallow in that position. Kasi for a while, it was working. And then, suddenly I choked. Like, oh no, it doesn't work, man. Damn, man. Lethal, pare. It was, at least that's how I felt. I don't know how the body actually works, no? That's how it felt, man. Every swallow you make, you needed to be really careful, or else you could die from it, man. Very panic-inducing. I'm telling you. No joke. I'm laughing about it now because it's gone. No? Wala na siya ngayon. Like, oh, got away from that one. Pero as recent as yesterday, I was still having problems. Damn, man, damn. All day long, I haven't experienced it. So, nice. Parang wala, you know, pero pucha, when I went to the doctor 2 days ago, man, I was not feeling well. I had to eat really slowly because I might choke on my food, I might choke on everything that was going in. Ganon, pare. And then, okay, when it began, that was my problem. I had swallowing problems, no? And then, around 2 days after I had that, it got worse. Suddenly, my nose started to get stuffy, started to get clogged. So I had to breathe through my mouth. Oh, so what happened was that I had to keep using my mouth for a lot of things, for everything. I had to breathe through it while I was salivating. Ganyan, pare. It was life-threatening, pare. Life-threatening. Oh, fuck, man. I was very stressed out. Not kidding you. Very, very, very stressed out. Okay? You cannot exaggerate how stressed out I was. And I mean that literally. You could not exaggerate how stressed out I was. Grabe, pare. You could not exaggerate it. I'm laughing about it now. But, man, while that was happening, damn, it was fucked up. That was as recent as yesterday. Last night, ganun. Yesterday, specifically. Your afternoon, ganyan. Man, stressed out. Extremely stressful. So I was breathing. I thought the worst one was when right before I went to the doctor to get it checked. Because when it happened, first day it happened, I was worried, like, what the hell is this, man? I was worried. I was looking for techniques. Hopefully it will pass, ganon. I was thinking like that. Hopefully this will pass. This will go away on its own. But then, because the second day, I had to go to a distant place to get a document from a government office. Ganyan. It was a distant place. It was fine, no, going there. But on the way home, I already had a plan to go to the doctor, to go to the hospital to get it checked. but it wasn't emergency level. So on the way home, man, I was eating a hamburger. Dude, right after eating, it suddenly became worse. Gradually, really bad, man. Really bad. Tapos, thankfully, when I was near the hospital, that's when the real bad stuff happened. Because if it happened while I was still far away from a hospital, bro, dude, danger zone. Danger. So that's what happened, man. I was choking on saliva. That's what happened. And then I decided, sige, let's get this thing, let's raise it to emergency level for myself. Emergency time. Delikado, gago. I was choking on my saliva. And then, that was the second day. Needed to get to my emergency hospital visit. Ganyan. Got my medication. And then, siguro 1 or 2 days later, 1 day, no? The next night, I was showering, and then, dude, my nose got really clogged up. Ganun siya. That's when I first sensed it. It got stuffy, and I could not breathe through my nose. I'm asthmatic, so I'm kind of used to that feeling. But this time, when I started to breathe through my mouth, of course, next thing that I experienced was the swallowing instinct. Of course, I had difficulty. It was extremely stressful. And remember, I was showering, I was showering, so I needed to oh no, you know, the precipitation. Using that word, though, I know. Although in a different meaning. With a different meaning, I mean. Damn, like I said, my preposition. No, yeah, there. Man, yan. It was humid, though I could not. It's stressful. And one more thing, although it's minor and funny now, I had shampoo on my head and my eyes were hurting. Like, oh fuck, because I could not wet myself. I could not shower, no? I could not continue with the shower because it was making my breathing difficult. Puta mare. And so what happened was, I had to weather that storm, that very stressful event. My eyes were hurting because of the shampoo. Like, oh fuck. Then I couldn't breathe, man. Extremely stressful. It's funny, but it's extremely stressful. Funny to talk about now, but extremely stressful. Incomprehensibly stressful. This place is mine. This is where I'm gonna park, guys. I am so sorry. This is not the right place to park, but it is now. I am where I need to be, but there's no parking. So what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna find a way to, this is where I'm gonna do it. Because now the guard has, he doesn't want me to park here. Wait, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna pause. Oh my god. I'm gonna finish this up right now. There's probably, maybe I'm gonna continue later, but I'm gonna finish this up right now. Right.